Good morning and welcome to Ringer Sports Studio. Today is Sunday, October the 27th. I'm Ringer Senior and I'm here with
Ringer Junior.
we are broadcasting our NFL Sunday Ringer Sports Studio edition. Every Sunday during our NFL season, we'll be broadcasting our favorite pick sides, totals, props, over-unders, you name it. We'll be talking about it, what we like, what we don't like, and what percentage of plays we're looking at and or our lean. So I really hope that you guys check out our videos at Ringer Sports Studio. You can like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. However, if you did not tune in yesterday, that was probably a really good thing because if you did tune in and end up taking our picks, you would have not fared out too well. We actually had one of our worst days, transparently, of the year overall on college football, NBA, action and Major League Baseball. Now we did split in Major League Baseball, going 2-2 on our props that we had, but we are 0-3 on NBA props, which has put us at a 4-4 record for the season. We're lightning hot coming out of the NBA season at 4-1. Now we're at 4-4, and then college football. Well, let's just say we only got a couple of wins out of a fair amount. So wasn't a good day for us, but that's all right. We're still doing extremely well. Our 5% plays are still at 24-11, 69%, doing extremely well there. And we've got, I think we've got two 5% plays that we've been hunting down that we are going to launch for you today. We didn't have any yesterday or the day before, so we're expecting to keep that 5% roll streak running with our best bets are very top of the line ones. And as I mentioned in every video with this streak, anytime you're north of 65 to 70%, that's amazing from a handicapper perspective. So we're hoping to keep that 5% trend going. But hey, you can't win them all, and we've seen that we lost three in a row, 5% plays, and yesterday was one of our worst days of the year. But it happens, and we follow a lot of top professional handicappers, and they lose too. So, anyways, here we have it. We are jumping into our NFL action. We've got a number of picks. Ringer Junior's got some looks like many team totals that he's looking at zoning in on. He seemed to find a craft, kind of like our Nerfy no runs first inning craft that we found for baseball. He's been carving out a lot of good team totals, either in the full game or at the half, which I think is the majority of his picks for today. I will talk a couple of overall totals, over unders, and a couple of team totals as well. And then we'll share our leans for today that we like. I say like, mean they're not official plays, but if we were to have to make a play, I would share the thoughts on each of those games, and then we'll wrap it up. And we'll probably look at maybe posting a prop only, player prop only video before kickoff as well. So with that said, Ringer Junior, over to you.
My first pick here, I'm actually going to take an under on the first half team total. I'm going to look at the New Orleans Saints under 9.5. Uh, the Chargers this year, they only give up 4.6 points in the first half. They have been the best defense in the first half and in the entire game. The Saints, they have their quarterback Carr. He's doubtful. Shaheed's on the IR. Olave is back, but I do not see Rattler moving the ball against this really good Chargers defense. And I don't even know if I see them scoring a touchdown in the first half. It might be three field goals. So I really like that under 9.5. Team total in the first half is a 3% play.
Yeah, Denver's defense is doing extremely well
Chargers.
this year. Sorry, Chargers defense is doing extremely well this year. In the first half, as Ringer Junior said, Saints are in trouble. They won their first couple of games and they haven't won since. They've the backup quarterback has not done their job. I can't see them getting a touchdown even in the first half. So even if they did get a touchdown, hopefully they don't get a field goal, but I can see them getting maybe two field goals, one touchdown or two field goals max in the first half. What else is on your docket there, Ringer Junior?
I also have Denver actually over 13.5 in the first half. I'm also going to look at this as a 3% play. Carolina on the year, they give up 22 points in the first half. That's six more points than any other team in the league. Denver has not done too well. I mean, they've had a lot of ups and downs. They've gone 16-0, 13-0, 20-0, and then 13. So pretty mixed up there. But this Carolina defense is absolutely awful. They give up 35 points a game, 22 points in the first half. I see them probably scoring two touchdowns and maybe a field goal here. So I also like this as a 3% play.
Yeah, Carolina's been giving up a ton of points. I mean, that last game against Washington was absolutely embarrassing to watch. Even when backup came in for Washington with Daniels going out, they gave up a ton of points. Obviously, it was most of it was in the second half, but they were pretty much scoring every time they touched the ball. So as long as Denver gets 4 possessions in the first half or 3 possessions, they should be able to lock in 2 touchdowns. A really good pick there. All right, I'll take over a couple and then we'll flip it back to you. So I'm looking at an over/under total. First game kicking off at 2 p.m. Atlantic. Philadelphia and Cincinnati, line sitting at 47 as the total combined totals. I really like this as an over. It's going to be a 4% play. I think Cincinnati has an unfortunate start to the season, but they're a very powerful offense. I know they were in that barn burner last week to Cleveland, 21-14. It was a friggin' ground and pound game early on. And since he really had a battle to get 21 points, like they really had a battle. Cleveland's defense came to play. Of course, quarterback went out with the injury, and Winston came in late, but they really had a hard time even getting 21 points against one of the best defenses in the league. So being able to put up 21, Philly's defense is not as good as Cleveland's defense. I know they're coming off the big Giants win, only giving up 3 points, but the Giants are not that good, as we know. And they gave up 16 to Cleveland the week before, 16 to Tampa Bay. I can see obviously since he's offense taking over at home, they need to get back on track here. They are 3-4 since he is, and I think they've won their last 2 games. They've been in every game, even the Baltimore game they should have won. They should have won in the Kansas City game. Scoring lots of points against good teams. I think they're going to come to play today. I think Chase is going to have a big day. I think Chase Brown's going to find the end zone as well with Cincy. I think Higgins is questionable, may not play today, but they're going to be able to move the ball against this Philly defense. And I also think Philly has been able to score as well. If you're looking at their scoring, they've got a up and down type of team, but they're going to be in a fight here against Washington for the division. So this is a huge game for Cincinnati. I really like Philadelphia to put up some points. Cincy's defense is still not the greatest. Their secondary is not the greatest. I see this actually being a shootout. I think it's going to get into the mid to high 50s minimum. I've got a 27-24 minimum type of game. I actually think Cincy's going to win the game as well and cover the 2.5 at home. But give me Cincy and Philly over 47 as a 4% play. My second over total is I'm looking at the Sunday night game tonight. Dallas Cowboys at the San Francisco 49ers. The line sitting at 47 as well. Dallas coming off a bye. Since San Fran opened at 4, I think it's 5 now, maybe 5.5 at home. Debo's back. I know Ayuk went out for the season last week. Kittle will be there. But Dallas coming off a bye. I know Dallas has a really good record off the bye, but they also score a lot of points off the byes when they played traditionally in the past under McCarthy. I think they have to figure out how they're going to get this offense flowing. I think they're going to have be able to move the ball enough to get this up and over the total. I think San Francisco is going to score against Dallas's defense. I think Purdy's going to have a pretty good game. I think last time I predicted Purdy coming out in a certain game, he was going to throw 3 touchdowns.
Seattle.
Against Seattle, yeah. Dallas defense is not the defense that it was. They're bound with a bunch of injuries. I haven't seen the injury report today to see if anyone is back, but I just think this game is going to get up and over the total. They gave up 47 points to Detroit 2 weeks ago. San Francisco scored. I know they lost to KC last week, and KC's defense is way better, but they scored 36 against Seattle, 23 against Arizona. I know they put up a 30 spot against the Patriots defense, which is not too bad. So I see this one getting in the 50s too. Dallas is known to get up into the 50s on a regular basis. I think Dallas will score some points against San Francisco to give it enough to get up and over the total. Like this is a 27-23 type game for San Francisco. 4% play up and over 47. Dallas at San Fran. All right, Ringer Jr., over to your last couple of picks.
I got 3 more picks. With my first one, I like Washington +1 at home. Daniels is questionable. He will be a game time decision. Even if he doesn't play, I still like them to win at home. Mariota was extremely impressive, even though they were playing a high school defense in Carolina. Chicago's defense has been much better. They've only given up 16, 10, 18, 21, and 19. But I see Washington putting some points on the board. They are 3-0 at home. I see them probably getting a win at home, even with Chicago's good defense. So I do like this as a 3% play. Heading over to my 2 4% plays, I like Detroit over 13.5 in the first half. They're the second best team in the first half to score. They average 17 in the first half. Tennessee only gives up around 8 points, I believe, in the first half. But I see Detroit easily scoring 2 touchdowns. Their last 3 games, their last two, they put up 40 plus, and they put up, I believe, 30, 35, 31 against Seattle. So I do see them probably putting up at least 2 or 3 touchdowns in the first half. So I do like that as a 4% play. And I also like San Fran over 12 and a half in the first half, kind of with Ringer Senior's over pick. I like that as a 4% play. Purdy probably throwing for 2 touchdowns this game. Even even though Ayuk or Jennings, I still see them probably getting in the end zone twice or getting or I see them probably moving the ball against Dallas's injured defense. They don't have Parsons, they don't have Bland. Bland's on the IR, and they really haven't looked too good this year. So I do see San Fran probably putting up some points in the first half as well. So I like that as a 4% play.
There you have it. Lots of first half team totals that we've seen to carve out, and first time we've seen it under from Ringer Jr. on the first half as well this year. Obviously, most public guys like to take the overs, and we're one of those guys. So a bunch of overs and one under. I'm shifting over to my 2 5% plays. One just made the card from a 5% play perspective, which might be a little bit on the bubble, but we're going to go ahead and ride it and try and go 2-0 on our 5% plays today. The first one, which I think is going to come in relatively easy, could even come in the first quarter actually, is Green Bay in the Jacksonville game. I like Green Bay over 12.5 first half points as a 5% play. Playing against Jacksonville. Jacksonville is coming back from England. They spent a couple of weeks over there. Actually did extremely well against the New England Patriots last week and blew them out. They're flying back home. They're getting back into their home comfort ground. Their secondary is not the greatest. Green Bay is going to be able to move the ball up and down the field all day, establish a run, play action, going to be able to score at will, I believe, in this Jacksonville game. I think this is probably a good spot to take the over 49. It's a big number because I think Jacksonville started to get their offense right, where they had really been dismal to start the year. I think they're going to be able to move the ball against Green Bay as well. But I really like Green Bay getting at least 2 touchdowns in the first half. If they get a turnover from Jacksonville, which is possible as well, they could get really good field position and get at least a field goal. Sorry, a touchdown and 2 field goals is all we're looking at, or 2 touchdowns in the first half. I think this one's going to cash early in the second quarter. If you ask me, we're taking that as a 5% play. Green Bay over 12.5 first half points. All right, my second 5% play is a team total, and it's with the Detroit Lions at home to Tennessee. Now, this is a possible sandwich game for Detroit. Could be a look-ahead situation playing Green Bay next week. Tennessee's unknown quarterback status on who's going to be there. It's undetermined at this point. It's probably Randolph again that's going to be in there. It might be Levis. I'm not really sure. Tennessee actually shut down Buffalo in the first half, and then the wheels fell off last week. Buffalo took that one real easy, 34-10, but I think they only gave up 10 in the first half. But if you look at this Detroit team, they've scored over 29, I think, in their last 3 games. They have had a couple of setbacks in games against Tampa Bay and Atlanta in the first half, as well as their overall totals. But I can't see Tennessee slowing them down. Detroit is getting everything right. They're one of the top couple of teams in the NFL. They could be the top overall team right now. I do think they're going to slow down. There could be a backdoor cover option for Tennessee here in the game in the fourth quarter, possibly. But I think Detroit's going to try and get up early and get this game up and over the total for them early on. Hopeful that will happen. So we're looking at 4 touchdowns, 1 per quarter. I think is really doable to get that up and over 27.5 as my second 5% play. So 2 5% plays today. Looking to go to 26 and 11 hopefully. And there you have it. Looking at some leans from a spread perspective, not official plays, but I like Miami to bounce back with Tua starting. Arizona's been dismal on a short week in the history of their franchise. I think 4-11 against the spread on a short week or something like that. And Miami want to get it right with Tua coming back. They're laying 4.5 or 4. Again, I like Detroit. I know this is more of a huge public play at 11.5. I still like Detroit to cover at least by 2 touchdowns. Worried about the backdoor cover, but I think Detroit can get up 3 touchdowns and then coast itself away to even a backdoor cover or backdoor touchdown, gets them at over 14. Interesting one here. There's another look ahead for Baltimore against Cleveland. Line open up at 11. It's down to 8.5. I actually like Cleveland plus the points here. If I was to take it, I would have tried to get it at 11. It's not going to be a official play because it's down to 8.5 now. But I still think that Jameis Winston's going to come in and make some changes to that offense. I think Baltimore may take them for granted. It is a road game for Baltimore, and there is a look ahead spot for them playing Denver next week as well, slightly. But I do like Cleveland plus the points. As I mentioned earlier, I do like Cincy to cover against Philly at home. I know Philly got it right last week, coming off a bye playing the Giants, but I still don't think I still think there's a trust factor in Philly. They're still a little bit banged up. I know the receivers are back; they're still getting healthy. I think Cincy's got an opportunity to win at home here. I like them, and I actually like Jacksonville, believe it or not, plus the points at home as well. More as a lead. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think Jacksonville has an opportunity. Green Bay's playing Detroit next week. Small look ahead for them. So that's a huge matchup for Green Bay in an interdivisional game with Detroit next week, and a huge, massive game. So 4.5 point road favorites going into Jacksonville. I can see this being a 3 point game for Green Bay, but I think Jacksonville may cover the spread there. So, Mary Junior, any other thoughts on your side? Any leans or?
No, if I were to lean somewheres, it would be the Buffalo Seattle game over 45. Seems like a bit of a low total there. I see probably being a higher scoring game, probably getting into the 50s, but it's not going to be an unofficial play for me.
Yeah, I suspect so. DJ Metcalf's doubtful today, so that might be where the line moved, and that takes away a huge offensive threat for Seattle. And Buffalo's been up and down, so their defense has held them into games with that slow start to Tennessee, and then end up blowing them out 35-10. But Seattle's been moving the ball, scoring lots of points. I was expecting to see a higher total there. Might be an official play later on, Ringer Junior. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, there you have it. There's our picks for the day. Quick recap: Philly, Philly Cincy over 47, Dallas San Fran over 47. Both 4% plays, 5% plays on Green Bay over 12.5 first half, 5% play on Detroit 27.5 team total points. And then Ringer Junior, you have
I have the New Orleans Saints under 9.5 in the first half, 3% play. Denver over 13.5 first half. Team total is a 3% play. Washington plus 1, 3% play. Detroit over 13.5 is a 4% play, and San Fran over 12.5 first half. Team total as a 4% play.
there you have it. Lots of action today. Enjoy your Sunday night football action. Again, find us at Ringer Sports Studio or at Colin Ring 12 on Twitter. Like them and cash them.